And a good start to the week, depending when you watch this, of course. For me, it's early Monday evening. It's about 4:20 p.m. Yes, I'm early for once. You can never tell. I just wanted to make sure I get in somewhere in the 5 o'clock region of Central Time, USA, Canada, Mexico, etc. Today's reading is something we've all done. It's about comparison with others, that is, and it's called the Roadblock of Comparison. And I seriously doubt there's anybody on the planet who has never at one stage or another compared themselves to other people. And the problem is, of course, when we use that in a negative way, and also when we do it too often. So here is the reading from Reverend Ryan. The first quote is from somebody you've all heard of a lot, anonymous. Comparison is the thief of joy. And Ernest Holmes in Thoughts Are Things says, you should become aware that the one creative power is expressing in you in a unique way, and that it is always pressing against you, seeking a fuller expression of yourself and of its infinite possibilities. Let me just have a quick look back here. Well, yesterday we talked about shame. And just checking back to see what we talked about yesterday. And I'm trying to go back to I need to go back to the Ernest Holmes quote. Oh, okay, I see. I was getting a little confused. It's because the Ernest Holmes quote from yesterday is kind of similar to the one today. So what Holmes is saying here is that the one creative power is expressing in you as it cannot express in that exact same way in anybody else. And that's why you're here on the planet. That's why everything's here on the planet, because everything that lives and breathes and moves and has being expresses itself in a unique way. Even twins are expressing in a completely unique way. Nothing is exactly identical. No two snowflakes are alike. So everything has got its possibilities. Everything has got its ways of expression, and you are one of them. So I guess the message behind all this is, why copy somebody else? Or why always be copying somebody else? Or why always thinking of yourself as less than somebody else? Anyway, here's the reading. I'm going to read it all the way through before I comment again. I promise you. Saying comparison is the thief of joy speaks to our inability to enjoy our lives if we constantly compare our life to the perceived lives of others. We often compare our everyday life to everyone else's Instagram life, filtered and packaged for maximum effect. We all know that life doesn't exactly show up in this way. Allowing comparison to be the guiding force in our lives impacts our capacity for vulnerability. We may be unwilling to take risks, to step out and reveal our true selves for fear of being judged, not as good or capable as someone else. Excuse me, there's a call there, but they'll leave a voicemail if it's important. I apologize for not putting all this on silent before we started. Our instinct is to take stock of all the people in a room and then gauge our self-expression and how we rank ourselves in comparison. It doesn't take much to see how this can greatly impact both our willingness, that is our ability to show up just as we are and as who we are. We may want to blend in or not be too much, whatever that may mean in a given situation. This instinct or conditioned response may cause us to hold back or play small. The journey is to begin to shift our reactions to these comparisons when they show up, allowing them to be just what they are, thoughts, and then showing up and moving in ways that are in alignment with who we actually are. Rumi, who I've quoted a lot, the 13th century poet, wrote, quote, "Move, but not the way fear makes you move," unquote. Ryan says, I'd suggest we add, "Move, but not the way comparison makes you move," unquote. In doing this, we begin to step more fully into the expressions of who we truly are. I mean, the truth of it is that we all make comparisons, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing to make a comparison. For instance, Reverend Jesse, when he was giving that last class that I helped him with the other 3 weekends, was talking about, I'm not sure, but before he became a minister or just after he became a minister. But anyway, he was out on the West Coast in the Los Angeles area at what was then the Centers for Living for United Church and Religious Science, one of the predecessor organizations of Centers for Spiritual Living. And the person who gave the address that day, the prime speaker that day, was none other than Wayne Dyer. And Reverend Jesse said, and this is going to be the difference. Reverend Jesse said, "That's what I want to do for the rest of my life." See, he didn't say, "That's how I want to be the rest of my life." No, he said that is what he wanted to do. So he wasn't comparing himself with Wayne Dyer. What he got out of that was that Wayne Dyer was something that Reverend Jesse found that he really wanted to do. He didn't want to copy Wayne Dyer, but he wanted to do something similar, to talk in front of lots of people. And he's been talking in front of people ever since. So I think that's a way that we can make a comparison. So what you're doing is you're comparing yourself. In that case, he's comparing his life as it was then, and maybe he didn't exactly know what he wanted to do with the rest of his life, to how it could be. So that is how I think comparison can be a good thing. You can compare what you're doing now to what you would like to do. And the fact that somebody else is doing it can be a guiding force to you. So instead of comparing yourself to Wayne Dyer, if he'd said, well, he's doing something I want to, but I can't do what he's doing, or I'm jealous about what he's doing, or I feel less than myself because I'm not doing what he's doing. No, he took what the guy was doing and decided that's what he wanted to do. And he made it his goal in life to do that. So I think when it comes to comparison, when we compare ourselves to what we're doing now, to what we can do, that's a different thing. But the whole point of this is anything that makes us feel less than, whether it's coming from us or somebody else, needs to be moved out, because it's not productive to our continued mental and spiritual growth. So that's how I see it. And as I said, we all compare ourselves. We do. I mean, it's just human nature. The thing is, we keep it to a minimum, and then we just try to compare how we are now with how we would like to be. And if somebody else is doing something, instead of being jealous of them, just say, wow, that's a great thing they're doing. That's something I'd like to do. Let me explore to see if that really works for me. Rather than the opposite, which is what Reverend Ryan's talking about here. Does that help? I hope it does. I don't know if there's a treatment here that's related to that, but I did promise everybody I would do Ernest Holmes, as I told you, from page, I think it's 507 onwards, comes up with lots of really good short, very short treatments. And they assume that we've already established our oneness. So let's just know together that there's one life. That life is God. That life is all there is. That life is mine. That life is each and every person's watching this. Perfection is, and I claim the following: perfection is already accomplished. I am that perfect life here and now. Today I express the limitless life of the all good. Today I manifest my completion in every part of me. Today I am safe and whole. And enjoying gratitude, I release this word into the divine law. I call it done, and so it is. And the affirmation is, I release comparison with others and step into a full expression of who I am. I release comparison with others and step into a full expression of who I am. So with that, for Lisa will be on tomorrow, and she really is reading from the Science of Mind textbook right now. She's towards the beginning. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon, 9 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock-ish, I think it was 9:20 when she came on this morning. So look out for her around about 9 a.m. If you miss it, see the recording. If you've not been through the Science of Mind textbook before, well, now's your chance to start. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Namaste.